Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing my very first anti-haul, which is basically a style of video in which we go over new releases and talk about stuff we don't need to buy. But I'm going to do a little bit of a twist, because some of this stuff I probably am going to buy, but just talk about new releases and what I feel about them, because a lot of them I'm not into, and let's talk about why. So by the way, all of these images that I'm showing you are mostly from Trendmood. I don't know what you're doing if you're not following Trendmood on Instagram, but that's where I'm getting most of these images and news and information surrounding makeup. The first release that I definitely really want is this Fenty Beauty lip gloss set. I love Fenty lip glosses. They're my favorite. Fussy is like my favorite lip gloss of all time. I'm wearing Diamond Milk on my lips right now. I love them so much, so I definitely have to get this. The brown shade probably won't work super great for me, but I love the other shades. These are all mostly new. Well, the only shade that's repeated in here is Fussy, and I think that's actually good to have a mini of because Fussy's my favorite, and I think a lot of people feel that way about Fussy. It's beautiful, so I think that was really smart of them to do a gloss set because it's one of my favorite products from Fenty, and I think a lot of people feel that way. Too Faced! I like Too Faced for some things. I think they make beautiful complexion products, beautiful bronzers, but honestly, Too Faced, what the hell? This shouldn't be surprising to anyone because they make just trash holiday collections every single year. They come out with some trash kid-like holiday garbage that you don't need. You really don't. And they're always pretty expensive as well. But this is a lot. They always release so much for holiday so early, and it's just garbage. I will tell you right now, I remember when I was first getting into makeup, my parents got me a holiday set for Christmas, and the quality of it, you can go and swatch them in the stores. The quality of the glitters in these is just trash. I think Too Faced does okay mattes, but in general, their palettes are good when they're not limited edition, and they're just horrible when they are limited edition. So I wouldn't bother with these holiday releases, really. Let's go over the specific ones. Sorry if you hear Louis, like, making gross noises in the background. Louis is my dog. He's on a hunger strike right now, so I've been having to give him Kongs filled with peanut butter to get him to eat, per his vet's advice, until I can get him in to go see her. But, so they have this, like, snowman, which is, like, magnetic palettes, I guess, that stack into be a snowman, which you don't need. That's kind of like their medium size. They always do a small, medium, and large. Their medium looks like it is that snowman palette, and then they have the hot buttered rum, which actually looks kind of cute if you're into a neutral travel palette. I really love small palettes to travel with, but I wouldn't get this one. Lip glosses, which is cute. That's always a fun gift to give. Stocking stuffers, or if you're doing Secret Santa, I will go to Sephora and pick up stuff like that to put in stocking stuffers to give my friends, because I usually do give them a main present and then a bunch of beauty favorites. So that could be cute. And you could divide them up and put them into different friends' stockings. Then they have this, like, bronze gingerbread powder, which I think is strange because for most people, you know, you're going into wintertime, and I don't use a lot of body powders during the wintertime, especially because my skin is so dry. And I just feel like it would emphasize a lot of texture, but I'm sure it smells really good. But it's also quite bronze, which I think is kind of strange because a lot of people wouldn't be able to use that, considering we all get a lot paler in the wintertime. Not all of us, but me especially. Okay, and then they have their big one, which is a Christmas cookie house party, which is a ginormous palette with a little palette that you can, like, take off, I guess, and travel with. A blush, highlight, bronzer type thing, and then, like, glitter shadows in the small one especially. No, stop. Too Faced. Get the help you need and stop releasing this crap. I think this would be fun if you were, like, a middle schooler and this was a gift from your parents, but other than that, I just feel like the quality in these is always garbage. And when are you going to use a Christmas cookie house party when it's not December? Like, no. So no, I'm not tempted to buy any of this. Then they have a gingerbread spice extra spicy palette. They did a limited edition gingerbread spice palette last year, and they re-released it in July. I believe you can still get your hands on it right now for like a Christmas in July effect. But their extra spicy palette looks less spicy than the original, which is confusing. I just think they should have re-released the gingerbread palette for holiday, and if they were going to do a second Christmas palette, I don't know, maybe do like a peppermint palette or something different. I understand that the gingerbread spice was successful, but I feel like you don't have to do something so similar. Because I don't feel like anyone needs both of these. I feel like the people that are going to buy this one are people who don't own the original. So, because the color stories are so similar. The one cute thing in here, I will admit, is this gingerbread man bronzer, because they do make fabulous bronzers, and this one is super cute. I don't think I'll buy it, but I just think that's a cute idea. I don't know about the quality of it, but their bronzers are usually pretty good regardless of whether or not they're limited edition. Let's go into Charlotte Tilbury launches. She's doing a Pillow Talk collection for Christmas. Charlotte. From one Charlotte to another Charlotte. Stop it with the Pillow Talk. I own Pillow Talk. I own the lip liner, the lipstick, and the quad, which is enough Pillow Talk. It's a great color, I'll admit. I do think the gloss looks really pretty that they're releasing with this collection. But stop it. Come up with a new idea, because this is exhausting. No one wants this. I guess some people might want it, but just why? Why do you need a Pillow Talk blush? Which looks the whole thing looks very shimmery, which is what I take an issue with. I love her quads. I think they're beautiful. But this quad you couldn't use by itself because it's just shimmers. And I don't understand why you do just shimmer palette. I understand holidays, a lot of people do this, and it really annoys me because why? You can't do a complete look with it. And obviously quads for me are a good travel staple, but if you brought this quad, you'd have to bring another palette, which seems really dumb, and these shades are very similar to other palettes she's done, other quads. There's always like a light shade, a rosier shade, a golden tone, and then a dark color. So it's nothing new, nothing revolutionary, and I'm not gonna get it. Oh, Melt Cosmetics is coming out with a radioactive collection, which looks pretty. I'm not a huge fan of rainbow palettes, and I feel like we've seen so many rainbow palettes. It's a lot. Starting with, I feel like the James Charles palette just like snowballed into a bunch of palettes. Also, Melt already has this stack. They have a radioactive stacks, which have, I think, the first 4 shades, I think, are in stacks. But they're discontinuing those, and this is like their, I think, permanent line. And I'm not going to get it because I don't need any more rainbow colors. But I think overall this would have been a much more successful launch if they launched it May/June, because who is going to want this going into fall? I know that Melt has a die-hard fan base and they will probably purchase this, but for me, I got my rainbow palette fix, and I think it's also unfortunate that they're repeating shades into a palette that they already have in stacks, because die-hard Melt fans who would typically purchase this already probably have those stacks. Jeffree Star and Morphe are coming out with more crap. I am not a Jeffree Star stan. I think he can be very problematic. I don't like how he treats his fans, but he makes very good products. I do love his eyeshadow formula, his highlighter formula, and his liquid lipsticks are my favorite liquid lipsticks. But I don't know why he had to come out with more stuff with Morphe. I think Jeffree stans probably like this, and you know, my sister got like Jeffree Star brushes because they were pink. She doesn't really care about Jeffree Star, but she was just kind of like, these are pink and cute, so maybe that's who's gonna buy this with Jeffree stans. And I just don't understand why he would come up with, I feel like these are existing colors, um, in the liquid lipsticks with new, yeah, Red Rum and Unicorn Blood, which are existing shades, and then Leo and Mannequin, which are also existing shades. So they're like packaging velour liquid lipsticks in like Morphe collab packaging and then doing lip glosses. Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. If you really love the lip gloss, not the lip gloss, the formula and you wanted minis, I believe they're selling the minis individual as well, which could be the only reason I would think like a beauty lover would buy this. I didn't buy his palette because I don't like large palettes, and I don't love Morphe Shadow. I think they're very, very unpredictable. Their influencer collabs are usually better formulated than their normal stuff, but still I wasn't in love with the color scheme, and if I want to buy a Jeffree Star palette, I will buy his formula, which I love and I believe in. So, no thank you, Jeffree and Morphe. Also, one thing that really bothers me is aerosol canisters. They are very bad for the environment, and Jeffree claims to really love the environment, and so he like packages metal straws and sells them to people. Yet when he comes out with a collab with Morphe, he doesn't like ask if they can change the format of the spray into like not an aerosol container. He just uses the aerosol container, and I'm pretty sure he sells the straws just to make money. So if you care about the environment, I don't know why you would be selling an aerosol product. It's kind of annoying. That's why I don't buy the Morphe setting spray. I've heard it's good, but that's my opinion on the matter. Hourglass is coming out with a holiday palette. They do a 6-pan palette every single year. It's like their face palette. This is called the Ghost Face palette. A lot of people are upset with the packaging because it does look kind of cheap, but I kind of like it. Let me find the one from last year. They normally do like a metal packaging, which does get a lot of fingerprints on it. And then this is what the palette last year looked like. And as you can probably see, this looks pretty similar to what they're releasing this year. You know, you have these same 2 powders with a highlight and then 2 blushes and a bronzer. And the bronzer looks very, very red toned. So I like that this will probably appeal to more deeper skin tones, because in the previous years they just haven't done that, and they've only marketed products that would probably work on people with skin tones similar to mine. So I think that's really great that they are doing that. I won't be purchasing this palette because it has, I think, the same 3 powders that are in this one on the top row, and then the bottom row is very much tones aimed for darker skin tones. So I won't be buying that. They are coming out with a blush quad, which is new for them this year, I believe, and it looks very, very, very pretty. I love that pink shade in the top. I don't really know what specific shades they are. They do look, at least like these 2 of them, I know are existing shades. So I don't think I'll be purchasing this, but I think it's different and it's pretty. And then they're coming out with scattered light eyeshadows, which I don't really like single shadows. And I haven't heard amazing things about those. So yeah, we're gonna move on. L'Oreal is doing a collection with Karl Lagerfeld, which I think is strange considering he didn't pass that long ago. So I wonder when they started this collection. And it just seems very strange for such a sophisticated fashion icon. He's done a lot of controversial stuff, but still, he was very sophisticated and it just all things luxury. It just seems odd to mix that with L'Oreal like drugstore makeup. Seems weird. I could understand if this was like a collaboration with, I don't know, like Chanel makeup, something that would be in his sphere, but this seems odd, especially since he didn't wear a lot of makeup, and so it just seems odd. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't get it. And then there's nothing really new that's coming out in this collection that interests me. It just looks like basic makeup, basic color stories that just have Carl's name slapped on them. Great. Urban Decay Honey Collection. Why? Why? Urban Decay, I feel like they were doing well with their Born to Run palette, and then they've just been doing some random stuff with their Naked line. I don't understand. Why you would want like all this honey themed sprays? Like, does it smell like honey? That seems like not a smell I would like on my face. I do love their setting spray, but it seems weird. They're also doing a primer potion, a mini palette. I do like their mini palettes usually, but they've changed the format. So it's like more like a cardboard package, and they've changed the layout. I don't understand the honey palette to begin with because it's not really yellow. It's just like warmer, shimmery gold tones. It's not really yellow. And I feel like the ColourPop Honey palette did so well. And it's just, buy that one. It's $12 if you really want to experience like yellow shadows, because these aren't yellow. They're just boring. Sorry. I said it. Natasha Denona. $129 palette. This is their holiday release. It's the Metropolis palette. They have made the pans small. I think the same size they are in the Sunrise palette, but instead of being small like the Sunrise palette, it is the same size as their other big palettes. So it looks like, honestly, I'm going to be real, these look like existing shades. They might say they're different, but I think it looks like a mixture of the gold palette and a little bit of the Sunrise palette with just, I don't know, it really looks like half gold, half Sunrise. I think these shimmers look very, very, very beautiful. I have a problem with Natasha Denona. I mean, it's a beautiful formula, but it's very difficult to ship. This and the Melt Cosmetics formula, everything I order from Natasha Denona comes like smashed and is very finicky with repressing things, so it's kind of something you should probably pick up in store, especially for the price of these kind of things. But if you really love Natasha Denona, and I know some people who are just like, will only wear Natasha Denona shadows, maybe this would interest you, but at the same time, I feel like you would own a lot of these shades. I'm sure it's beautiful quality. I'm sure it is. ColourPop and Kathleen Lights collaborated again. Is this like their 5th collaboration? I don't know. This is the So Jaded palette. What bothers me about this is 2 things, really. The size. It's huge. I really hope ColourPop does not start releasing these huge palettes. Normally the biggest they go is a 16 pan, but this is a 30 pan palette. And that is just horrendous to me. I hate big palettes. I think they're so annoying. I think that's very much a Morphe thing. And ColourPop and Morphe have very similar price points. I feel like they attract a very different market. But still, I don't know why ColourPop is kind of doing kind of a Morphe thing with this. I don't know. I think the packaging is beautiful. I wish it was a 16 pan. Then I might be a little bit more tempted. The other thing that bothers me with this is the fact that it is $35. I think I heard somewhere it was $39, but I think she might have corrected it on here. I think that's very expensive for ColourPop. I think that is a lot for this palette. I hope they don't keep pricing things like that, because I could buy usually like 3 or 4 palettes, 3 mini palettes for that price. The 3 12-pan palettes, so it just, I don't know. I don't go to ColourPop to spend $35 on a palette. I just don't. Because a little bit more than that, you could get like an ABH palette. So it just seems very weird. I know you're getting a lot of shades, but I just don't feel inspired when I look at this. It has a lot of pressed glitters in it. I think it's the release date on this was very good because it is very autumnal. It does look pretty. The other thing I wish ColourPop would do is collaborate with other artists. This is Kathleen Light's billionth collab with ColourPop. I think she creates beautiful things with ColourPop. I love Kathleen. But I don't think it's fair that she's getting all these collabs. I think we've seen what she has to give us, and it's just kind of like she's turning into this like Jaclyn Hill Morphe machine. Not the exact same thing, but she's pumping out a lot with ColourPop, from the pigments to all the palettes, and she's created very beautiful things, but I think it's time for her to collaborate with a different brand or do her own thing. Like, not that I want another influencer brand, but I think there's so many smaller channels that would create awesome collections with ColourPop, and that's what I really want to see, instead of seeing the same like 5 people collab over and over again. That's just me. Okay, we're only going to talk about a few more things. The Celestial Storm palette by Dominique Cosmetics is tempting me, but I don't think I could make a complete look out of this palette. I don't think there's enough like brighter shades. And then the swatches look kind of underwhelming. In the pan it looks gorgeous. I would have to see how it worked on the eyes. But this is very, very different. Of course, Artist Couture is coming out with something very similar, right? Let me just look at it. I think that's what people are saying. Artist Couture, Mac Daddy is coming out with something that has kind of the same tones in it. They have that same like fuchsia, which I'm curious to see an Artist Couture eyeshadow palette, because I believe that's their first. But as far as it goes with Dominique Cosmetics, I just don't think I could do a full look out of this, but I think it's beautiful, and I really like just how different it is, because we've been seeing so much of the same, so that's very cool. It's very pretty. The shadows didn't convince me. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about, I think, is the KKW and Winnie Harlow collection. Winnie Harlow, of course, was on America's Next Top Model. She's had some controversies, I believe, with... She's said some strange things, but I'm not going to go into that, because I really wouldn't be the best person to speak on it. But this to me looks like a ColourPop palette. It really does. Looks like a ColourPop 16 or 12 pan. No, 16. No. 12 pan. I can't count. It looks like ColourPop pretty much. It just does. I think these are on brand for both of them. They're neutral shadows, a lot of shimmers, a few mattes, but she just did a collection with like a bunch of mattes, but I think there's only 3 mattes in here, which sucks. I like to see a more 50-50. The highlighter does look pretty. It looks kind of like the one Natasha Denona is releasing. It's very golden toned. Lip glosses don't look like anything. It just doesn't look like anything special. I like that she's collaborating with someone outside of necessarily her space. I didn't know she and Winnie Harlow even hung out, really. But as far as, does Winnie do a lot of makeup? Is she someone who has a different makeup style? I know she looks very different. That's kind of her strength on the runway. But I don't know if she has like makeup looks that I would know as like Winnie Harlow. Alright guys, so those were all the recent releases that I had opinions about. Let me know if you liked this style of video. If you didn't, just be nice about it, I guess. Please like this video if you liked it, and subscribe. Louis is being fussy because he wants to play with his peanut butter Kong, right? Say hello to your fans. Yeah, he's not in the mood for that. Nope. Okay, guys. I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome week.